So why I can never be a leftist? Could never be? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, as y'all know, I'm very conservative. Clearly, based upon my message, it's conservative in nature. And the reason why I'm conservative is because, as y'all know, I'm all about common sense. That's my channel, Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. That's why it's called Common Sense, Logic, and Reason for a reason. I'm very logical. And I'm all about what makes sense. So I'm going to look at a process. I'm going to analyze it, see what's wrong. If the process is broken, see what's wrong. Can we fix the process? Let me see what's going wrong in this process, and then let's analyze what's going wrong. Let's focus on what's going wrong and figure out how we're going to fix it. This is how logical people think. And conservative people tend to be more logical because conservatism is logical. That's a whole process of conservatism. Whereas leftism, these leftists, they're all about emotional. They're very emotional. They're all about what feels good, what seems good, what sounds good on the surface. It sounds good, but they don't ever go into deeper understanding the meaning of what actually happened. Looking at all the mechanisms that move inside of that system to see if it really works or not. All they know is they just look at what's on the surface, and if it feels good, if it sounds good, then that's what they go with. And like I say, that's why I can never be a liberal leftist. This is what they do. And this is why leftism just creates chaos and problems, because they never think anything through. Now, a perfect example of this would be a perfect example of leftism in action, and how leftists create problems, or leftism creates problems, would be with taxes. Now, if you listen to the left when it comes down to taxes, they always have the same phrases, tax cuts to the rich people. Even though, when they always say conservative always care about the rich and giving these tax cuts to the rich, even though when giving someone a tax cut is not actually giving somebody something. A lot of people, to keep more of their hard-earned money, that they went out there and worked for, it's not giving them something. You're not really giving them anything. You're just taking less from them, right? You hear that all the time, or you hear them say your fair share, even though they never give an example of what a fair share is. Now, here's a little lesson on taxes. Again, this is Taxes 101. When you lower the taxes, you help the economy. And when you raise taxes, you hurt the economy. That's an economic fact that we have evidence, and we can look around, and again, this is not theory, that's fact. And the thing you have to understand about economies and economics is, these evil, greedy, rich people, or the businesses, are the engine that drives the economy. Businesses drive the economy. And money is the fuel that runs the engine. So the more money that fuel you provide for the engine, the further the engine can drive. If you look at your vehicle, you can drive a lot further on a full tank of gas than you can a half tank of gas. And that's similar to what money is to businesses. The more fuel they have, the more they can drive the economy, each individual business. And when you lower their taxes, that means that they get to keep more of their hard-earned money. Now, contra to what a lot of these leftists always say, another phrase you hear, they get these tax cuts, and they take that money and they put it in these lock boxes or these overseas accounts. That's BS. When they actually get more money, they immediately take that money and they roll it over back into the business to help drive the economy. Or to help the business. That all that money gets reinvested right back into the business. It doesn't get put in the lockbox nowhere with these evil, greedy rich people keeping all the money somewhere stashed. They take that money and they put it right back into their business and help drive the business. And now that they have more money, there's a lot of things that they can do, such as perhaps maybe hire more people. You know, the greatest expense for any business is always going to be labor. And you can have a business that could possibly need a couple of extra people. They can really use a couple of extra people, but just can't afford it. But now they can. So they hired a couple of extra people, employees. Now you have people who are making money, who have jobs and they're making money that wasn't and paying taxes that weren't making any money before. Well, if you have people who earn money now, what are they going to do? More likely to spend into the economy. Or they can give bonuses to the employees. You know, employees gets a nice bonus because they save money that's really due. And what do those employees do with that money? Well, they may take, if it's a nice bonus, they'll say, well, they'll take their family on a family vacation that's deserving of its family, but they just couldn't afford it before. That again, money gets spent into the economy. Or they get a raise. They make a little bit more money. They have more money now. They're more likely to spend more. You know, you get a raise, so you're more likely to take your family out to eat once a week or something like that. You can afford to do that now. What happens? Well, if everybody who gets the raise does that, they goes out to eat more. Well, restaurants now have this situation. Now they're having more traffic, more customers, and they're having to respond to that. They may have to hire extra couple of people, which then you have to do the same thing applies. Now you have somebody who's working and making money now that wouldn't have been making money, and they're paying taxes. They're much more likely to go out and spend now that they have a job and they're making money. And now, since the restaurants are making more money and selling more product, they have to buy more from vendors. So now, let's say if you have an Italian restaurant, right? Now, since they're selling more food, they have to buy more tomato pastes, tomato sauces. Because it's an Italian restaurant, they have to buy more pasta from vendors. I'm saying they have to buy more cheeses, more creams and stuff to make more of the sauces, Italian sauces, more chicken, sausages and stuff that they put in meals, more seasonings because they're selling more food. Well, now the vendors have run into the same situation where they may have to hire more people and so on and so forth. It becomes a domino effect all throughout the economy. And the net effect is the economy does better for everybody. Everybody's doing better in the economy now. And on the back end, the federal government actually gets more tax revenue back when they cut taxes than when they raise taxes. So then why would anybody ever be for raising taxes? Who in their right mind would want to raise taxes knowing this economic fact? The leftists. Well, at least the ones who know this must be insane. The politicians know this. So when they say they care for the poor people, they really don't care for the poor people, because when you raise taxes, you inevitably hurt the poor. Because when you raise taxes, you get the opposite effect. But yet the left always still want to raise taxes. Now, why, like I said, why would you do that if you claim to want to help the poor? They don't. They don't care about the poor. They only care about raising taxes. Anyway, this right here is just one example of the insanity of the people on the left. And why, like I said, why I can never be a liberal leftist, because everything that they stand for, if you apply this to just every belief that they have, you run into inevitably the same thing. You have something that sounds good on the surface, but when you actually break it down and analyze what actually happens when they do it, it ends up being horrible or disastrous. Across the board, just for everything. So this is why I can never be a liberal leftist. If you want to understand why are you conservative? Why am I conservative? As a black person, quote unquote. That's why, because I'm a logical person. I operate based upon common sense, logic, and reason, and what makes sense, and everything the left stands for, it's insanity. But anyway, if anybody was wondering, why are you as a black person, why are you conservative as a black person? Well, now you know, and always have the battle. And as always, y'all, until next time.